Welcome to our channel. Today, we're diving into some of the most extreme destinations on Earth. You know, those places where Mother Nature decided to crank things up to 11. We're talking scorching deserts, icy mountains, and jungles so thick you could get lost in a game of hide and seek with a chameleon. Think you can survive them? Let's find out. But hey, before we get started, I have a question for you. Have you ever looked at a map and thought, man, I bet nobody's ever been to that random spot in the middle of nowhere? Well, guess what? Neither have I. But that's not gonna stop us from exploring these crazy places from the comfort of our computer chairs. So buckle up, grab your metaphorical compasses, and get ready for an adventure. Just try not to spill your drink when I tell you about the time I almost got eaten by a mountain goat. First up, we're venturing into the hottest place on Earth, Death Valley, a land of extremes where the sun always wins. Imagine stepping into an oven, where the heat is relentless and the sun shows no mercy. This is Death Valley. The ground itself seems to crack under the unbelievable heat, and the air shimmers with the oppressive temperature. Death Valley holds the record for the highest temperature ever recorded on our planet. A blistering 134 degrees Fahrenheit. That's hotter than you can imagine. It's like living inside a microwave on high. The air feels like it's cooking you alive. They say you can fry an egg on the sidewalk here. And it's not just a saying, people have actually done it. If you're brave enough to face this inferno, remember this: water is your lifeline, and you need a lot of it. Not just a sip here and there. You need to stay constantly well hydrated. We're talking gallons, my friends. Pack more water than you think you will need. Dehydration can sneak up on you faster than you realize. It's a silent, deadly threat in this extreme environment. Picture this: you're trekking through the desert. The sun is beating down on you, and you start to feel lightheaded. The heat is unrelenting. You reach for your water bottle, but it's empty. Panic sets in as you realize the gravity of the situation. Suddenly, you see a mirage shimmering in the distance. A refreshing oasis with palm trees and a pool of ice-cold water. But it's a cruel illusion. The heat can cause hallucinations, making you see things that aren't really there. Heat exhaustion and heat stroke are real threats. The desert is really unforgiving. So, pack your bags, slather on the sunscreen, and get ready to sweat. But be prepared and take all necessary precautions. Just remember, if you start seeing dancing cacti, you've waited too long to hydrate. Stay safe out there. Next, we're scaling the tallest mountain in the world, Mount Everest, the ultimate challenge for thrill seekers and adventurers alike. Now, I'm not much of a climber myself. Heights and we have an understanding. We avoid each other. I prefer my oxygen levels to be, breathable. Clean and fresh air at sea level is more my speed. But for those who dare to conquer this behemoth, it's the ultimate test of human endurance. A true testament to the human spirit. Imagine this: you're inching your way up the side of a mountain, each step a monumental effort. The air is so thin, it feels like you're breathing through a straw, gasping for every breath, and your water bottle is frozen solid. No refreshing sips for you. Oh, and did I mention the wind? It's relentless. It's howling like a banshee on payday, making every step even more treacherous. People say they climb Everest for the view, the breathtaking panorama from the summit. Personally, I'd prefer a good postcard. Much less effort, same stunning visuals. But hey, to each their own, right? Some people thrive on the challenge. But seriously, climbing Everest is no walk in the park. It's a grueling, dangerous endeavor. Altitude sickness is a real threat, and acclimatization is key. You can't rush this process. That means gradually adjusting to the decreasing oxygen levels as you ascend. Slow and steady wins this race. Otherwise, you risk getting hit with headaches, nausea, and even more serious complications. It's not something to take lightly, and don't even get me started on the cold. it's bone-chilling. We're talking temperatures that would make a penguin shiver. It's far beyond freezing. So, unless you want to turn into a human popsicle, you better pack your warmest gear, layers upon layers. So, if you're feeling adventurous and have a death wish, by all means, add Everest to your bucket list. It's the ultimate thrill. But me? I'll be here at sea level, enjoying my oxygen and my central heating. Much more my style. Our final destination takes us to the Darien Gap, a treacherous stretch of jungle separating Panama and Colombia. This place is infamous for its challenging terrain and the sheer difficulty of crossing it. Now, I'm a big fan of nature. There's something incredibly soothing about being surrounded by trees and the sounds of wildlife. I love a good hike in the woods as much as the next guy. The fresh air, the sense of adventure, it's all very invigorating. But the Darien Gap? That's a whole different ballgame. It's not your average hiking trail. It's a true test of endurance and survival skills. Imagine this. You're hacking your way through dense undergrowth. The air is thick with humidity, and you can hear the buzzing of insects all around you. Every step feels like a battle against nature itself. You take a step and feel something slimy squish beneath your boot. It's an unsettling feeling, to say the least. Congratulations. You just made friends with a giant jungle slug. These creatures are just one of the many surprises the jungle has in store for you. The Darien Gap is not for the faint of heart. It's a place where even the most seasoned adventurers can find themselves overwhelmed. It's a labyrinth of swamps, rivers, and dense rainforest, teeming with all sorts of creepy crawlies. We're talking venomous snakes that can strike at any moment, spiders the size of your face that can send shivers down your spine, and jaguars that could give a tiger a run for its money. These predators are stealthy and powerful, making the jungle their perfect hunting ground. And if the wildlife doesn't get you, the terrain will. The jungle is unforgiving, with its steep inclines, muddy paths, and dense vegetation. There are no roads, no trails, just miles and miles of unforgiving jungle. It's a place where getting lost is not just a possibility, but a probability. It's easy to get lost, disoriented, and well, let's just say I wouldn't want to be caught dead there. The sense of isolation can be overwhelming. Speaking of getting lost, let me tell you about the time I got hopelessly turned around in a botanical garden. Yes, you heard that right. A botanical garden. I know. It's not exactly the Amazon, but give me a break. I'm a city boy. The maze of plants and paths was more confusing than I anticipated. I ended up wandering around for hours, convinced I was going to be eaten by a rogue squirrel. Every rustle in the bushes had me on edge. Turns out I'd missed the exit sign because I was too busy admiring the begonias. They were beautiful, but not worth the panic I felt. So, what's the moral of the story? Always pay attention to your surroundings, no matter where you are. If you're planning on tackling the Darien Gap, hire a good guide. Someone who knows the terrain and can keep you safe. Or better yet, just watch a documentary about it from the comfort of your couch. It's a lot safer, and you still get to experience the adventure. Just trust me. Your sanity will definitely thank you. Sometimes the best adventures are the ones we watch from afar. So, do you think you could survive these extreme destinations? Let us know in the comments below. Would you brave the scorching heat of Death Valley, the dizzying heights of Everest, or the untamed wilderness of the Darien Gap? Personally, I think I'll stick to exploring the world through my screen. It's much safer that way, and I don't have to worry about packing bug spray. But hey, if you're feeling adventurous, more power to you. Just promise you'll send me a postcard. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more adventurous content. Until next time, stay safe and keep exploring.